VhaVenda King, Toni Mphephu, is saying that he's going to pay back the millions he got from VBS Bank. The King was mentioned in a report that was commissioned by the South African Reserve Bank as having received 17 million rand. The report, dubbed the Great Bank Heist, continues to be the subject of many media's reporting. Meanwhile, the president has denied knowing anything about the impending collapse of VBS in 2017. A whistleblower claimed to have met with the president when he was still the deputy president of the country and said no action was taken. We're now joined by our reporter Hitekani Magwedze, who is in Limpopo, to give us the latest there. Hitekani, good evening to you. I mean, we've seen the continuing fallout on this story. The King now offering to pay back some of the money, but it's going to be little comfort to those who've lost their monies, including those, of course, who've been given severance packages today.
That's correct, Bongani. Well, good evening to you and good evening to our viewers. The King has, in fact, agreed to meet with the curator in the Reserve Bank to make a determination on how much or which monies that he received from his subjects was ill-gotten. In fact, he's saying that he receives a lot of gifts, as it is culture, that subjects will go and give the King money in support of his royalty and sustenance of the royal house, of course. But it is clear that there seems to have been money that may have been given to him that was part of the VBS Mutual Bank, ill-gotten money. We were, in fact, in Chibisa, just close to the Musina border, where the King was meeting with other chiefs to discuss other matters. We believe that this matter of the VBS Mutual Bank was among the list of things that were talked about. We can tell you that he wasn't able to speak to us because he assigned his spokesperson to do that for him. But he says he's quite disappointed in the fact that there was money that had been stolen, and that has caused an avalanche of problems for depositors in the bank, for small investors, for the staff as well. I can tell you this, the staff have not still signed those papers that were given to them, those severance pay papers, Bongani.
I mean, of course, the King is not an elected official. What's been the fallout, given that a number of municipalities in that area have all but collapsed because their deposits were with VBS? We know, as I said earlier, that employees of the bank are going to lose their jobs. There are, of course, as you point out, many small depositors who still have unanswered questions about what's happened to their savings. How is the King being viewed throughout all of this?
Well, Bongani, it doesn't seem like people are focusing their attention entirely on the King. We really have to press them in asking questions on how they feel about the King's alleged involvement and his link to VhaVenda Investments and subsequently, obviously, to VBS Mutual Bank. And when you press them, you get the feeling that they're quite disappointed that the King didn't intervene. In fact, like we said earlier, it seems most of them are disappointed in the fact that at some point the King was endorsing the bank and encouraging them to use the bank for personal reasons, for burial societies and such. And they say they're quite disappointed in that he didn't highlight or shield them and protect them as a king is supposed to do for his subjects. But they are quite, they express their anger a lot more and quite visibly when you start talking about the executives of VBS Bank, who seem to have looted quite a lot more according to the report, Bongani.
Right, we'll have to leave it there. Hitekani Magwedze reporting from Limpopo. Now, of course, the King says he's now certain that there was a system in place in terms of VBS to defraud the bank. He says that while that may be so, he himself it cannot be linked to unduly benefiting from the theft. That sum of 17 million rand in dispute. He says it may have come from gifts from his subjects. The King's spokesperson, Makonde Mathivha, says the King has offered to pay back that money. We spoke to him a little earlier on.
We are now convinced that, yes, indeed, there were wrong things that happened at the VBS. And the King is very worried about it because his subjects lost a lot of money, hard-earned money, and that the VBS, which has been there for all these decades, giving all the support his subjects needed from it. So he's very worried. Now we know that money was stolen from VBS, and these monies, some of them, and the resources that these people gave to His Majesty as gifts, that they volunteered to His Majesty. All we are saying is that His Majesty now understands that some of these monies must be returned.